Hotel. It is Veterans Day. We are honoring all the persons serving at home and abroad in the United States Armed Forces and those veterans who have served at times in war and in peace. Today, there are nearly 20 million veterans in the United States. Just think about that for a second. And we have a great contingent of military members here tonight from Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, New York. They are behind me. Give them a round of applause. We thank everyone for their service and sacrifice. Every day in the United States should be Veterans Day. We have an unbelievably packed show as Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen is here alongside myself and Eric Coleman. Later, we will be joined by 4 members of the Jets defensive line: Steve McClendon, Henry Anderson, Lorenzo Fadacasi, and Nathan Shepard. But first off, Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Jets celebrate Salute to Service weekend. What was the experience like for you at MetLife Stadium? I know you're a 49ers fan, Lieutenant Colonel, but you saw the Jets take care of the New York Giants yesterday.
I did. I was actually there, and, the Jets have a great tradition of celebrating their military. I think they did it about a decade before the NFL embraced the Salute to Service, and yesterday was no exception. It was an awesome event. We got to go out to the field, and we got to meet some players, and just really appreciate all the hospitality and just being part of the day.
Lieutenant Colonel, you mentioned you're a 49ers fan.
I am, yes.
All right, they're playing the Seahawks tonight.
They are.
What do you think about the transition of that team and, having John Lynch come over there and the new head coach and the things that they're doing right now?
So I'm super excited for the team. I grew up in the Bay Area in the 80s, so obviously born and raised a 49ers fan. We've had some tough years. We had some good years under John Harbaugh, and I'm just really excited what Lynch is doing right now. I love the offense, and, I hope that we're able to do it today against our arch rivals, the Seahawks.
And I know this is inside the Jets, but I'm from Sacramento originally, so I grew up a Niners fan as well.
California talk here. What did you think about the environment at MetLife? Because the Jets and the Giants only play once every 4 years in the regular season. You said you grew up in the Bay Area, so you're accustomed to the rivalry between the 49ers and the Raiders, of course.
Yes. So, the Raiders were in L.A. when I was growing up, and then they moved back to Oakland. But last night or yesterday was fantastic. Anytime you get 2 teams that are from the same city together, I think it's great. Yeah, the stadium was split half and half. You had Jets fans and Giants fans just both going at it. It was a great fight to the end by 2 teams that are having, not the most spectacular season, but, you wouldn't have been able to tell it yesterday. So I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was awesome energy, and, thank goodness the Jets pulled through. So Jets, right?
Yeah, there we go. We had a big win yesterday. Can you talk about, obviously in the armed forces, it's life or death. There's a lot of sacrifices that everyone makes. But there are some similarities of sports, in particular the game of football. Can you talk about some of those similarities?
Right. So I always tell everybody, I'm a huge sports fan, so I always use sports analogies all the time. And I always tell everybody that, life is a team sport and the Army is a team sport. And, you can't do life and you can't do the Army on your own. Sometimes you're the quarterback, sometimes you're the lineman. And, you try to make a play, though, if you're the quarterback and you don't have a good line, holding you there. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to get the ball down the field to put a W in the win column. And that's what I always say to all my folks is that the Army is a team sport. And, you're out there in combat all the time, similar to being in a game. And, it's just...
It's all about the collective.
It is.
There's no doubt about that. Now, the great contingent behind us from Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, New York. What do you do in terms of your position?
So I'm the battalion commander for the New York City Recruiting Battalion, and we recruit the nation's best from New York City and Long Island and Westchester County, all the 5 boroughs. And quality quality personnel. Last year, we recruited about 4,000 young Americans into the United States Army, and a third of those had college degrees.
Wow.
And also, we recruited about 24% women and 75% of some type of minority background. So New York City is providing the diversity that makes our Army great, and the quality that makes our Army great.
Why did you choose the Army yourself? And you have a fascinating story because you're an identical twin. And can you tell us what your sister's doing?
So my sister does nothing similar to me. She's actually a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. She's stationed at the Pentagon right now, and her family are getting ready to actually move to Hawaii and start another chapter in her military life there. But I joined the Army as a college student to actually get money for school. I always had my family, my grandfathers were in World War II, so we always had a really good sense of volunteerism and giving back to the community. And when it came time to pay for college, I was looking for a way to pay. There's 5 kids in my family, and my parents just really didn't have the means. So the Army was an option, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the discipline and camaraderie and the teamwork that is all a part of the Army, and also that you can be anything that you want to be. It doesn't matter what kind of background you're from. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you put the effort in and you put the work in, you can get promoted, you can get recognized, and the Army's just a great life. And 23 years later, here I am.
23 years,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I never would have
Amazing.
thought that, but 23 years later, here I am, and I command a great contingent of personnel. Some of them are behind me, again, recruiting the next generation of Army service members that are all contributing to what we're celebrating today, which is Veterans Day. Yeah.
Well, being in a recruiting position with these young folks that you're recruiting to come into the Army, how have things changed? How has your approach changed to those young men and women who are coming out of high school and maybe in college who are thinking about joining the Army?
So we just started a new campaign the Army did. It's called What's Your Warrior, and it really talks about the diversity and the skills that we need for today's Army. We need smart, intelligent personnel that can be adaptable and flexible. Today's youth are absolutely up to that challenge. They're ready to again contribute to that legacy. And really it comes just back down to giving back to the community and service. And again, building that diversity that makes America great. America deserves to have a Army that represents the diversity that is United States of America. And New York City absolutely is an amazing example of that. Yes,
absolutely. It is a melting pot. Inside the Jets, presented by EY, Building a Better Working World. Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen is doing just that with the Army. 9/11, we were talking about it before we came on air. You were actually stationed overseas at that time.
Yes.
And unfortunately, you had a family member involved.
Yeah, my aunt, my dad's brother's wife, was on the plane that crashed into the Pentagon. And, it was a very emotional day, and it's a very emotional day every year. This is the first year I got to spend in New York on 9/11, and I will say that the connection that I felt with the citizens of New York, I've never felt that before anywhere else I've been stationed. There was definitely a mutual remembrance and sadness on that day this year that I got to celebrate with fellow New Yorkers. But I celebrate that because it just talks about overcoming adversity and knowing that America can persevere, and that's what makes America great.
Yeah. And being an active, lieutenant colonel in the Army, can you talk about what Veterans Day means to you?
So Veterans Day to me means that I'm part of the greater legacy that is everything that our country represents. So, over 200 years ago, we had men and women that answered the nation's call, and today we have men and women that answer the nation's call. and just to be a part of that greater legacy and celebrate everybody's service to country. And, you know, everyone serves, not just the military members, but also the families as well. They serve as well. So, you know, just being part of that and being part of that greater family, there's no greater feeling of accomplishment in life than knowing that you're giving back to the country that you love.
Is there a rivalry between you and your sister?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Talk about Air Force and Army and how that works at the house.
I mean, I won't even go back to Air Force and Army. I mean, we did sports our whole life.
Yeah.
We're always competing against each other. Yeah, we're always going back and forth. And actually, I have two brother-in-laws that are also in the Air Force. And I'm the lone Army person, but they all know who the senior service is, so that's the Army.
23 years. How long do you think you're going to do it?
You know, I keep saying that I'm going to do it until the Army stops promoting me. But honestly, I will say, you know, I absolutely love what I do. I love, you know, being around these soldiers and, you know, leading them and, you know, hearing their stories. You know, every single one of them has an amazing story to tell about why they joined the Army, but more importantly, why they stayed in the Army. And I tell them to share that with potential recruits and share that with potential family members and personnel. You know, a lot of people don't know what the Army can do. There's 150 different ways to serve. 100% of those have some type of civilian credentials that can transfer. You can get up to $40,000 for signing bonuses. You know, 30 days paid vacation, and then $4,000 tuition assistance a year. You know, and then you're also learning resilience and discipline and skills that can transfer into the civilian world. So, you know, the Army is a great choice for young people, and, you know, just come by. We'll give you a card. We'll talk to you about some of your choices, and we'll sign you up.
Well, that is Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen, who will be rooting for her 49ers on tonight. But she rooted for the New York Jets yesterday as they pulled out their second victory of the 2019 season. We thank you so much for your time. We thank everybody who is here from Fort Hamilton. And once again, we are honoring all the veterans, current and past, 20 million veterans in the United States. It is an amazing number. It is staggering. We thank you so much for your service. And we're to come right back here on Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium, teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
There's a chance your local Geico agent owns the same designer dog breed as you.
Wait, you own a Chihuahua too?
Half bulldog, half chihuahua, 100% lovable. Oh yeah.
So many wrinkles, such a tiny face.
But there's a better chance your local Geico agent could help you out with auto, homeowners, renters, or condo insurance. Motorcycle, boat, or RV insurance too. They'll work hard to provide sound advice and significant savings. You don't need a chic, wrinkle-faced pup to do that. Local Geico agents. Call or visit yours today.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
You're invited to Super Bowl 54 in beautiful Miami for a once-in-a-lifetime football experience from NFL On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. You'll meet NFL alumni, enjoy exciting pregame parties, watch the action from the 50-yard line, and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL On Location plan your ultimate Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best seats at Hard Rock Stadium today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELAC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELAC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Career success is in your future with a degree from Centenary University. 98% of Centenary alumni are employed or in graduate school 9 months after graduation. Hit the ground running with internships and career-focused programs like criminal justice, data analytics, education, equine studies, and sports management. Generous scholarships and grants are available at Centenary University. They're committed to your success. Learn more at www.centenaryuniversity.edu.
6 players up near the line showing blitz. And they are going to blitz. Back to throw is Daniel Jones. Hit. He's going to go down. Sacked at the 3-yard line. Jordan Jenkins gets home. And now it's 4th down and a mile.
Remember, Jets fans, you can stream Inside the Jets live through the Jets app presented by M&T Bank. Go to the App Store or Google Play now and search Official New York Jets. Our player guest segment is presented by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Eric Allen and Eric Coleman, the bookends here, but we got a couple guys.
Feeling real small right now.
I'm feeling tiny. My mom's over here. She says, you always look very small next to some of these guys. And enter Steve McClendon and Henry Goose Anderson. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having us.
For joining us. Listen, fellas, give them a round. Don't be shy here, Vanderbilt.
Got that W last night. Got to give him a round.
Come on now. 13 carries for Saquon Barkley. 1 yard. Steve, how did you guys do it?
We just stuck to the game plan. We knew he was a dynamic runner, and we knew we had to make him stop his feet early and often and hit him when we had a chance. And when we did hit him, just make sure we swarm to him and put many bodies on him. And just hopefully we can just let that wear down on him as the game went on.
And when you talk about stop his feet, you're talking about when he gets that handoff, you don't want him running downhill. You want him to change direction while in the backfield to kind of slow him down. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes.
Now, I mean, the game plan was amazing. You guys were dominant up front. Listen, I know it's another opponent. You're playing the New York Giants, but I know it's the next opponent. But was there a little bit extra, or was it just a normal game for you?
For me, it was just another game, but I could feel in the energy last night that yesterday it was most definitely just because it was New York Giants.
Yeah.
It was in the air. It was most definitely in the air. And plus you get to see, some of you guys that you played with, played against in college and in the pros as well. For me, it was just exciting just to see that type of atmosphere, blue and green. Mm-hmm. Everywhere.
Henry, I would ask you as I lose my mic here, talking about the atmosphere, and Steve just mentioned some teammates passed, okay? So I think about the big cat, Leonard Williams. So he's playing with the Giants now. What is happening with you guys from a defensive line perspective? And I want to start with you, Goose, because the depth up front, it has really been something, and you two are veterans up there, and these young guys continue to progress. We're talking to Lorenzo Faticasi later. Nathan Shepard, off of suspension, came in. the last couple games has really given you guys a boost. Kyle Phillips is an undrafted free agent out of Tennessee. He's been tremendous. Quinnen Williams is a number 3 overall pick in the draft. So you guys make a trade sending Leonard Williams cross town, but to me it speaks to what's developing here from that defensive line perspective. What do you guys see each day?
Yeah, I mean, we see, just like what you were talking about, we got a lot of depth in that room, a lot of young guys that have shown a lot early in the season. Like you were saying, Kyle Phillips has played some really good football to start the season. Quinnen's stepped up and made a lot of big plays. Shep and Foley have both. Foley's been dominant against the run. Probably one of the better defensive linemen in the league against the run for the first half of the season. Shep obviously made some big impact plays yesterday. But yeah, I mean, we just got talent up and down in that room. Even guys like practice squad, Bronson Kafusi's a heck of a football player, and we saw he flashed a lot in the preseason. He was active, and I think it just speaks to our depth that a guy like him is on the practice squad right now. A guy who was a heck of a football player. But yeah, I mean, we just got a lot of guys in that room that can do different things, rush the passer from the inside and the outside, and stop the run. So it's definitely a promising room.
How much pride do you take in the development of some of those young guys? I know I'm going to talk to Full Lorenzo about you here in a minute, but he says literally, if Steve asked me to run through a wall, I'll run through a wall. And I know you tell the fellas, what's the line? The gym is always open.
Always open.
But what specifically with Full Lorenzo? Did you take him under your wing, or did he seek you up?
So when he came in, I talked to all the rookies, and he just kind of got attached to me. So he listened. He kept following me. He kept asking me questions, and I was like, all right, he wants it.
Yeah.
So I told him, just follow me. I'll give you all the answers to the test. It's only up to you to answer the test, that you take the test and you do the right things. And just to watch his development from last year to this year is absolutely amazing, because you normally don't see that in guys that can answer the bell that fast and early in their career. Like Goose said, he's a very dominant guy in the run, and he's going to be very dominant in the pass. It's because he's so explosive, he's so strong, and he understands the game, but he's want to be a student of the game even more. And that speaks volume from the rest of the guys in the locker room and on the D-line as well, because guys now really want to be a student of the game. They want to understand the game more so they can be better and help them be more.
That's a hell of a compliment coming from both of you guys, the way you're talking about Fadakasi. When Henry Anderson says that right now he's one of the better players against the run, not in the division, not in the conference, but in the National Football League.
It's true.
Yeah. So I got to ask both of you guys this question. As a defensive back, there are times in the game where you're facing the opponent and you're like, man, I can see it in their eyes. We're going to lock them down. We're going to challenge them, all game. I think we have an edge. Is it like that on the defensive line? And what was it that you guys saw yesterday? I'm not trying to call anyone out on the other side of town, but it seemed like everyone had it going yesterday, and that you maybe saw something within their scheme that was like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah, I mean, our coaches did a good job of the week of preparation, laying out kind of what they want to do on offense, and how we can have success if we go out and execute. We did a good job executing on Sunday. We knew that they wanted to get Saquon going, and he likes to. Obviously, he's a hard dude to bring down. We had to swarm to him, like Steve was talking about. It's just one of those things where we had success early, and once you have success early, you know how it goes. Like, everyone just kind of feeds off that. You get into a groove, you get rolling. Everybody starts to, bring the same energy like every play, and just feed off of everybody else's playmaking. So we started early, and we shut down the run pretty early, and I think it just kind of fueled the defense for the rest of the game.
Steve, what did it mean to you that you guys took that early lead, 14-0. They came back. They landed some blows. They were up 27-21. But the way you finished the football game, 10-0 in the fourth quarter, shutting them out, down the stretch, and you yourself had a big hand in that with the sack late.
To be honest, we was just going to stick to the game plan. Like, we felt the energy from the first snap. Like I said before, for me, when I look across the line, if you show any weakness, any desire to quit, or you fatigue, that's only going to feed us more energy. And I felt like yesterday, when we have 11 guys on defense feeling invincible, everybody that stepped on the field had no doubt. Then when you look across the side of the ball, they just didn't have the same energy as we did. Not taking any shots at anyone. It's just a simple fact, our energy was unmatched yesterday. And I feel like that's what drove us to be even, like, better. That's why I know, like I told the guys, I was like, listen, man, me and Jamal both said it. Step your game up these last 4 or 5 minutes in the game. Level up right now. And the guys answered. When you can say something on the sideline and the guys take it onto the field, that's when you know you have something special. And that's what happened yesterday, man. It was totally just different energy. You know, we watched their defense get a stop. We'll go on the field, get a stop. Their offense will make a play. Our offense will make a play. And then special teams will go out there and cover. The defense will go out there and make a stop. It's just like who was going to last the longest with the best energy. And I feel like that's what happened with us. We just lasted longer with better energy.
And you mentioned Jamal Adams. I mean, he had one heck of a game yesterday, and it seemed like he really cranked his energy up. How much do the guys feed off of Jamal's energy as well? Obviously, you know, the guys feed off you up front. But on that back end, how do you feed off Jamal?
Well, Jamal always says this one thing. He really try not to give too many speeches, but when he do, he's like, match my energy, match my intensity, match my will to fight today. And when he says that, you know he's on.
Yeah.
You know he's on. Like I told him, I said, man, just stay calm and play your style of football. Then once we get on the field, you can hear him. You know it's like one of those moments like he's about to do something because you'll start hearing him, and then it just seemed like the moments that you saw yesterday. But like it's just not him. You know, on that play, that one big play when he scored, like I went back and looked at it today. You should have seen how many people were in the quarterback face. Goose, Foley, like it was just like everybody. He had nowhere to go, absolutely nowhere to go. So once he took that ball, we just knew it was part of the end zone. But what's so funny about it, right before we took the field, I told everybody, I said, we need a pitcher in the end zone. And he was like, okay, I got you, big bro. I said, no, we need it right now. And we went out there and we did it.
That's cool.
Henry, how do you guys carry this over now? Like Steve was talking about that feeling, the emotion that you guys had it and you weren't going to let anybody take it away from you. Now as you go to Washington and try to secure a second consecutive victory against Adrian Peterson, the wily veteran, you know what he's going to bring to the table, and a rookie quarterback in Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously enjoy this win 24 hours. And then, I mean, build off the positives that we showed in this game. I think we did a good job, obviously, stopping the run. We need to do a better job, up front. I think running out of the stack, they had some explosive passes against us yesterday, and I think we got to, continue to work on that. And as up front, I mean, we're always trying to get better at getting after the passer. So, I mean, just build off the positives. Try to look at the things we can work on, and just get ready for a tough opponent in Washington. And get ready to go. We got to have a good week of preparation.
But listen, I'll tell you what, it's going to go a long way if you guys keep on playing like you did yesterday and the way you're playing against the run, because you're making teams one-dimensional. 6 sacks against the Giants. And now, like I said before, Dwayne Haskins, rookie quarterback, making his second NFL start. So let's see if you guys can keep it up. As always, you bring it here on Inside the Jets. We thank you both for joining us. We're going to bring in a couple of the young studs along that defensive line coming out. That's full of Runzo Fatakasi and Nathan Shepard. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN Radio.
Whether you're kicking back after a busy day or just kicking off a night out, join them at Vanderbilt's Sports and Spirits located inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel in Florham Park, New Jersey. Sample all of your game day favorites from light snacks to locally sourced fare and enjoy a rotating selection of craft beers and local brews. Catch your favorite team on one of their 27 televisions. Challenge friends at a game of pool on 2 regulation-sized tables or gather around the fire pit on their outdoor patio. Visit Vanderbilt's Sports and Spirits in Florham Park, New Jersey for your game day experience. Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELAC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELAC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Bold statement. Saving money with Geico is almost better than watching football. Think about it. When you're watching the game, yelling at the quarterback to throw the ball, throw it, Williams is wide open, why are you doing this to me? Use that rocket arm, come on! They don't listen to you. But if you went into a Geico office and yelled, someone please help me save some money on car insurance, everyone would hop to it. Except the intern, because it's his first day and he doesn't even have a computer yet. See? Better. Switch and save with Geico. It's almost better than sports.
Hi, football fans. This is Director Jared Maples with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. It's our mission to protect New Jersey with our federal, state, and local partners. Of course, nobody knows our communities better than the people who live there. That's where you can help. If you see something that you suspect is out of the ordinary, report it. Together, we can keep our state safe. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about what to look for, visit njhomelandsecurity.gov.
Darnold takes the snap, 4-man rush, looks left, under pressure, bullets one over the middle, and he's got Crowder at the 10, cuts it back, at the 5, goal line, touchdown! Sam Darnold did it again! He was under pressure again! He delivered a strike again! What a drive by Darnold! Crowder pays it off, and the Jets have an early 2-touchdown lead.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman. Loaded show tonight as we're being joined now by both Lorenzo Fatakasi, you can call him Foley, and also another defensive lineman, Nathan Shepard. Is defensive lineman night here at Vanderbilt. So make sure for the folks in attendance, you got your food because these guys can eat. Fellas, thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, man? Appreciate it.
Hey, okay. Tell me what's happening up front. Right now, you guys are dominating, and we saw that against the Giants. In terms of that rush defense, no team better than the National Football League. You're second in the NFL in terms of yards per game, but I look at yards per carry, 3.0. And Saquon Barkley, 13 carries, 1 yard. He's going to play a long time in the NFL. He's a Hall of Fame talent.
He will.
He'll never have a stat line like that again. Never. What's happening up front?
Man, Shoot, I would just say we're just locking in and taking advantage of the opportunities that we're getting, and sticking to the game plan and just pretty much just going.
What about you, Shep?
It was great. I think we definitely gained a little bit of momentum this past game, and I think a lot of the success was just part of the fact that we continued with that and didn't let the ball stop rolling.
First career sack for you.
Yes, sir.
And you probably should have had a second one, but there was a penalty in the defensive backfield. So let's talk about your first career sack. Take us through the play.
Okay, so after the game, I honestly didn't remember anything. Let's see. So, actually, I'll talk about the first one that I actually thought I got before the penalty. So, had the pleasure going against Will Hernandez. I first went against him it was like the Senior Bowl prior to the draft. And not a lot of people know this, but I actually broke my hand going up against him.
That's right, because you were having an impressive Senior Bowl. They're like, who's this guy from Fort Hays State?
Yeah, and like I literally went up against him again. He's a freight train, boom, and my hand just broke. And I was like, dang, that was the first time I actually like broke something that had a serious injury football-wise. And it was just really crazy to come full circle and see, hey, you know, against the same competition, be able to be successful later on. So that was just like something I can pat myself on the back and just remember that, whatever adversities you face, just, to keep working through that, because you never know how things are going to pan out in the future.
But the sack itself.
Oh, the actual sack itself.
You just kept on coming.
Just
push up the middle.
Yeah. So I mean, we just work on staying in our rush lanes, and I mean, we work as a cohesive unit. I know Jordan Jenkins. I don't think he was able to make it tonight, but like when I looked at the film, he was able to get the first pressure there and actually had a hand on the jersey, forced the quarterback to step up in the pocket, and I was in my rush lanes and was able to, benefit from that. So like, I was able to come up with a stat, but it's definitely a group effort for sure, 100%. I mean, you look at Jamal's amazing play, like ridiculous. But if you look at the play, the reason the quarterback wasn't able to escape is because Foley had pushed back the O-lineman right into his lap. Jamal just comes in. So it's complimentary football.
What is going on with you right now? You're breaking out, man. Yeah, you had two veterans up here right now who don't throw around praise too often because Steve, you've latched on to Big Steve, and, he just wants everybody to keep their head down, keep working. But they just said, Henry Anderson just said, you are one of the best run stuffers in the National Football League, and McClendon echoed those sentiments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an honor to be respected by my teammates like that. But one thing that always echoes in our ears is that the work never stops, and you just always have to progress forward and continue to work. It's great to be respected by others, but if you stop the work, you won't benefit as much. You know what I'm saying? You won't do as well as you'd want to do. So one thing we definitely take from Big Steve, and all the other vets in the room, and one thing as a collective unit that we agree on is that we must continue to work. We must continue to take steps forward. So that's pretty much the mindset in that sense.
Absolutely. They say success is rented. You got to pay rent every day when you go to work. So obviously it was probably strange for you guys coming into the league. Leonard Williams has always been in your room, and seeing him on the other side, it must have been strange. But when I think of them trading Leonard Williams over to the Giants, that must speak for the confidence they have in you young players. Mm-hmm. How do you take that as a challenge? Do you take it as a challenge when they send Leonard somewhere and say, listen, we got to step it up? Because it really looked like you guys stepped up your game yesterday against the Giants.
I mean, really, something that I feel like we would all agree on is something that I believe that we agree on is that Leo's obviously was a big part of our room.
Very much
and,
so.
And him leaving, was a big part that was leaving, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But one thing I know for a fact that Leo wouldn't want us to take a step back.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because Leo had the same mindset in us, like moving forward. Make sure you guys move forward. The show must go on. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm there or not.
100%.
That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm. To add on that, when I got the news first thing that came to my mind, or first or second thing that came to my mind is like, yo, football, NFL, beautiful sport, ugly business, you know. So definitely very difficult to like bond with someone, to have someone mentor you, and then to initially it's like it's very difficult to see them leave, but then on the other side it's like, I mean, he's not dead, you know what I mean? Exactly. He has been given another opportunity somewhere else to perform. So I'm like, why harp on that? Why be upset about that? You know, all good things come to an end. You know, we know this to be true, and it just made the time being able to learn from him, work, you know, underneath him and watch him just that much more valuable.
We've got about 55 seconds until break. This is a loaded question, but got to ask it. How have you guys individually grown from your rookie years when you played one game? I think you were active one game. And also the professional maturity, because you owned up to something, a mistake you made that kept you suspended for 6 games, and you seem like a different person. So, I mean, that's loaded. So we got 20 seconds. So I don't even know if you all can handle that in 20 seconds. Can we keep you on for another segment, maybe?
You start off. I need to think about this.
And, yeah, I actually do need some time to think about that, too.
Yeah, so you guys think about this. We're going to bring you back after the break for a final segment here on Inside the Jets. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
Selective Insurance is people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer, making lives whole again, all in the service of our mutual customer. Always at the head of the table. The customer, the independent agent, and Selective. Together. That's what makes the promise possible.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELAC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELAC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Career success is in your future with a degree from Centenary University. 98% of Centenary alumni are employed or in graduate school 9 months after graduation. Hit the ground running with internships and career-focused programs like criminal justice, data analytics, education, equine studies, and sports management. Generous scholarships and grants are available at Centenary University. They're committed to your success. Learn more at www.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Sam Darnold takes the snap, gives to Bell, up the middle, at the goal line, he's in. That's a Jet touchdown. Le'Veon Bell goes over from 1 yard out, and the Jets retake the lead. 8 seconds gone by, fourth quarter.
Jets reward members, don't forget to enter the code CATCH, C-A-T-C-H. Steve? I just lost my mic. C-A-T-C-H in your Jets rewards portal during the show to earn 100 points. That is catch for your Jets reward members. You're listening to Inside the Jets. We're broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Absolutely loaded show. Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen was here as we're celebrating Veterans Day, and Steve McClendon, Henry Anderson, Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman, Lorenzo Fadacasi, and Nathan Shepard on for a second segment. I left you guys to think about this before the break. Let's talk about professional maturity. Lorenzo, starting with you. You were a 6th-round pick. You played one game. A lot of players in the National Football League would be buried mentally after that. But instead, you became a better player, and you are a valuable piece of this defensive line rotation. Where do you point to in terms of your growth? How did that happen, and were you ever mentally down in terms of it's not coming right now?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like the person to say that it was not by my strength, and I'm a person of faith, and I feel like, through my faith that I was able to overcome, just the little bit of adversities, with that. And I just understood that I'd have to just continue to keep my head down and to keep chopping, and keep working. And that's something that, Steve and like the rest of the vets and even the entire room, like we believe in, is just to keep chopping. So I believe that, being able to look in the face of adversity and be able to smile and to keep working is what really allowed me to grow, and having a great group of guys around me to continue to mold me and to continue to just mold my mindset is what really helped me.
Was there a specific moment where that light turned on and you said, you know what, it's coming right now, it's coming?
I just had to really work on just continuing to be patient and continue to work and continue to ask questions and to continue to be persistent, and I felt like, hey, the more I stay prepared, I won't have to, it won't be no lag. There won't be any lag, so I just stayed prepared and stayed on top of my preparation.
How about you, Shep? 6-game suspension to start the year. You were a 3rd-round pick from Fort Hays State in 2018. You were open about this. You said you took a banned substance, wasn't feeling confident about where you were physically. Instead of putting your head down, you picked yourself up. How have you changed as a guy from what happened?
Well, I would say I definitely didn't start by picking my head up at first, I guess in order to pick your head up, your head has to be down. So I do want to start at where I was with that. I remember when I found out and having to go tell my coaches, again, it was still too surreal to fathom what was going to happen or how my emotions were going to be. But I mean, I always remember after I told Coach Gase, he was like, "So what now?" What was his biggest thing that he preached to me? And taking what I took away from that is just like, okay, this has happened. how are you going to determine what happens next? Like, how are you going to write history? You know, and part of me, you know, part of the process that I went through and, you know, the disappointment that I had with having to suffer these consequences just helped propel me to be like, look, you can right this wrong by your performance on the field. So it just came into like, as much as you dislike what's going on right now, you can go ahead and rewrite that when you get back. So it was basically, I really dislike what's going on right now, so let me just put all that effort into, you know, giving to my team the best that I can.
And how much, you know, for both of you players, you know, how much did you lean on your group? You know, I know that there's a great bond in that defensive line room, you know, starting with Steve McClendon, Henry Anderson. You know, how did you lean on each other, and how did you continue to push each other through those tough times that you may have had and through the success?
Man, we have some great guys in the room, starting off with, you know, the OG, you know, Steve, you know, man, like, keeping each other accountable, you know what I'm saying, being real with one another, not lying to one another, but then again, understanding that, you know, we're all humans and we need to pick each other up. So I would say, man, the love in that room and the camaraderie in our room is what keeps us, you know, a tight-knit group.
Yeah, well, I also want to commend you guys, you know, being young players and finding a veteran in your position group to get in his pocket, to learn the tricks of the trade. You know, I was fortunate when I played. I had, you know, guys from Reggie Tongue to Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, you know, a bunch of guys. Every team, it seems like, that I played on, there was a veteran who had been to a place that I wanted to be. So I commend both of you for, you know, for seeking out that knowledge from those older guys.
Absolutely, 100%. Just to add on that, I remember, like, when everything went down, Steve was the first person I told in the building, 100%. And I mean, I actually remember. So when I called, you get a FedEx. There's a number on it, and you're trying to figure out what's happening. And I'm on the phone with the doctor saying, you know, this is your test result. And Steve walks by, and he can already see in my face like something's going on. Yeah. And maybe 30 minutes later, I go up to talk to him, and he already knows, like, yo, I can see by your face something's up. Let's sit down. We talk about it, and just kind of helps coach me up with, you know, helps me find what my next step is. And from then, you know, things just kind of happen.
What do you guys think about the matchup Sunday against the Washington Redskins? You're going to be seeing a lot of Adrian Peterson because they got a rookie quarterback making his second NFL start. And all day still can bring it. He's been in the league for a number of years, Lorenzo, but
listen, AP, that's gonna be dope. I think that's gonna be a very fun game because watching him growing up as a kid, and he's still got. I don't think he missed a step, and I think it's gonna be real fun. I think it's gonna be a really good test because, man, that man's gonna get a gold jacket.
Yeah, like, I mean, we were even talking about it in the locker room. You know, sometimes you look at offensive players that are, you know, very explosive and just once in a generation. And at times it's like they'll have great games and maybe other games they won't have such great games. And you look at what the defense did. Some people call it, you know, maybe that player, he had a bad game where he checked out or whatever. And it's like, this week is like you don't make it this many years being a player who checks out and in any game. So that's what I've heard. It's like, hey, no matter what the score is, hey, he's not checking out. So first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, just be ready to bring it.
To add on to what you're saying, I played against Adrian Peterson many times. I played in this division my last 2 years, and every time we played against him, I'll talk to the last time, Detroit Lions I played for, Gunther Cunningham in our meeting room. He said, we held Adrian Peterson to 25 yards on 19 carries. If we would have done that, we would have won. But those 4 carries where he gashed us for 110 yards, that's where we lost it. Because you can do everything right. You can, you know, continue on your assignment. He will not quit. Yep. You know, so you know, if I could give you any pointers, I mean, you've already seen it in film. Yeah. You know, that guy, he has a motor. Hey, there's a reason why he's a great one.
Gentlemen, heck of a show. Keep up the great work. I mean, you guys are doing your jobs, and the arrow's pointed up. You can go meet Big Steve and Goose because they're waiting for you. Get yourself a meal. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. especially the folks from Fort Hamilton and Brooklyn, New York, and Lieutenant Colonel Whitney Jensen. For Eric Coleman, I'm Eric Allen.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. Yep.
Good luck.
Selective Insurance is people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer.